Bonjour, channel surfers. Bienvenue à remote reality. Je ne parle pas français. C'est la vie? Okay, I have no idea if I said any of that right, but welcome to Remote Reality. This is Lauren.
And this is Dee.
And we're watching 90 Day the Other Way. So this is the 90-day franchise where people don't come to the US on the 90-day visa, the K-1 visa. We're going to a different country.
Ooh, that should be interesting.
It will. And the name of the episode is C'est la vie. Season 7, episode 1, C'est la vie. So I had to look up how to speak a little bit of French, even though I don't speak French.
I just wanted to say that's the way it goes because of the song.
I speak Spanish. Did you take a language?
I took 2 years of Spanish.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Did I tell you about Jake the other day?
Mm-mm.
So our house cleaners were here and he heard them speaking. Now they speak Portuguese, not Spanish. Very similar though. But he, just 4 years old, all on his own, recognized it sounded like Spanish. And he walked up to him and he said, Hola, ¿cómo está? And they said, bien, y tú? And he said, muy bien. He just started talking to him in Spanish.
Oh, that
It was
sweet
so cute. And they were just, oh my goodness, little niños speaking Espanol. It's very cute. All right. So this is the first 90 day that you've seen where we're actually in it to win it. This is where we're getting together with our fiancés, seeing if we can make overseas love work. Because all you've seen is Hunt for Love.
I miss my Rob, let me tell you.
I know you do. I'm sure he misses you watching him and lusting over him week to week.
I'm sure he does.
That was a really good season. But this is probably one of the better 90-day shows.
I'm excited.
Season 7, episode 1. C'est la vie. Let's watch.
Reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With the host, side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
So we start with unnamed friend driving in a car to go to her friend Chloe's house. And she's saying she's making the biggest mistake of her life. I have to stop her. Then we go to Chloe. Chloe is telling us her personality hasn't changed at all since she was 3 years old. She shows us this pageant picture. She shows us what appears to be like a participation trophy for cheer. And she's like, I won a trophy when I was 5.
She showed a whole box of them, didn't she? Like a whole box of different like medals and stuff.
She did. So the medals, that's different. I mean, I don't know. We would get participation medals in swim. But those could actually have been rewards. She describes herself as a total spoiled princess, but she's young. Okay. She's 23 years old now. I can't relate to the me that I was when I was 3 years old. Doesn't 23 seem young
now? I can't even relate to 23. I can't even imagine relating to when I was 3.
So as far as being a spoiled princess, she says she gets everything her wants. Her mom worked really hard. Her mom was a divorced mom and she just wanted to provide everything she could. I wonder if that is, she felt guilty about the divorce and
that's a possibility.
Wanted her daughter to have a good life. And that's how she showed her a good life.
It's pretty obvious she's spoiled. She didn't have to tell us.
Yeah.
Just in that 10-minute clip, we seen that she's spoiled.
Yeah. Yeah. You can kind of see that she isn't living in a world that most of us are used to. I don't know that she would know how to function on her own. That's one of the things with being spoiled like that is when your parents provide everything, you don't have that urgency to keep your 6-figure job or even to get one, to make something of your life.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked that she was willing to walk away from a 6-figure income to go to Aruba.
Well, she doesn't need it because I'm sure her mom will provide for her. And that's great in a sense, but I've seen the downside of that as well. My husband, he's like that. He's never had to work. And then you get to a certain age and you're like, what have I accomplished? And it's not good. It's sad. I don't want my son to be like that. There's a lot to be said. I mean, even in having self-confidence and respecting yourself, knowing that you've done it and you've earned it. So I feel worried for her. It will be good for her to actually get away from her mom and have to figure out life on her own.
Yeah. But from the conversation with her mom, she was talking about, are you going to be okay with taking cold showers? And I'm like, what? Wait a minute. There's not going to be hot water there?
A lot of countries don't have hot water. Wow. I've been to places in the Caribbean where there isn't. We went to Nicaragua with my friend who was born in Nicaragua. He moved to the United States when he was 12. He's a major in the Marines now. He's like a major pain in the ass, but just kidding. Love you. And yeah, there was no hot water. There were no doors on the bathrooms. When you go on vacation, it's very different when you're at a resort than when you're actually seeing how life is day to day. These two are hilarious. Her mom is asking her why she needs high heels. Her mom, Michelle, says, I've been to Aruba 5 times and I've never even worn pants. And Chloe says, I'm going to prison. I'm not going to prison. We can still see each other, because her mom, obviously, they're very close. She's really heartbroken that her daughter is leaving.
Well, she's not just leaving. She's going out of the country. That's huge.
Going out of the country to be with a pirate.
Yeah.
Chloe goes, well, hopefully I won't be a pirate. Her mom's like, there's limited options.
What was it? A booze cruise actor?
But she says love makes you do crazy things.
Yeah. I
So
think
does
we can
she.
all, yeah, we can all relate to that. We can all
Youth
relate to it.
And love making you do crazy things. We are in for a crazy story. They are both very funny. We see Chloe's friend again. Don't know her name, but she says that her husband grew up with Johnny. Johnny is Chloe's fiance in Aruba, and he has a lot of women around him, and he's not the guy you marry. So she's trying to warn him, which that was kind of surprising.
Well, and I was kind of confused. Like, if the guy is in Aruba, how does this woman's husband end up growing up with him? So I'm a little confused with that. I'm anxious to see what
Right.
the connection is.
Is this very hypocritical? Did you marry someone in Aruba?
Yeah, I'm confused right now with what she said.
Maybe she had a K-1 visa in the U.S. and she's jealous that Chloe gets to go to Aruba.
Maybe. Or she could just be a best friend who doesn't want her best friend leaving.
True. What?
Yeah, especially in that age group.
motivations?
Yeah, especially in that age group.
I'm not saying this is a great idea, but they have been dating long distance 11 months. So it's not super fast. It's fast, but it's not like 2 months later. It's going to be great for her to get away from mom, cut the apron strings, see what life is really like, and if she can do it. And she might be able to find self-confidence and grow within herself without having everything handed to her. I think it'd be good for her self-esteem,
Yeah.
as long as this guy is a great guy and she's a great girl. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we meet Manon from Marseille, south of France, and her husband of 3 years, Anthony, and they have a little baby. She is stressed out being a new mom. You can tell. It's a lot.
Yeah. Plus, she's really busy with her business.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing a lot of work there. He's actually being a stay-home dad.
I don't know that this is the best time to make a life-changing decision. That baby looked like maybe 6 months or younger.
I don't know. She's really
Maybe.
upset though. And that's to me, that's a red flag. To be that upset with a decision that you've made, you should be happy.
I don't
So-
understand it. So she says that Manon and Anthony, they're going to move back in with Manon's parents in France. She left France because she was bullied about her weight. Also, her family bullied her. Her grandfather said, how did a girl like you get a guy like your husband?
Mm-hmm.
In America, she feels accepted. She has her own social media marketing company. She's the provider. I don't understand why he can't find a job here. Why LA is expensive. You could move somewhere else in the US.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's also a plus size model, so maybe more of the work for her is in that area. I don't know.
But she has her own social media marketing company.
Yeah, so I would think that would be sufficient without having to do the modeling stuff. I don't know.
She's wanting to spend time with her son.
Mm-hmm.
And I get wanting family around. My parents don't live right down the street, but she's scared. She's scared to go back. She's scared about being bullied. She's only 28, so she left when she was pretty young. Kids are jerks apparently everywhere. Even in France, they're jerks.
She's clearly been traumatized by her experience in France.
I worry about her going back as well.
Mm-hmm.
And her friends are worried too. And she's got some gorgeous friends.
Oh my gosh, that Chastity, she was gorgeous.
Gorgeous. But yeah, I got a little teary-eyed during her segment.
She was almost in like a panic attack over it. I mean, clearly there's a lot of anxiety and stress around going back. I would just stay, but then she probably wouldn't be on the show the other way.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And Manon, she came here on a work visa. She was offered a modeling job. And then she met her husband after she had established herself, and she was already here. So this was not a K-1 visa situation. This was a work visa situation, which depending on at what point she was on her way to citizenship, she may have still had to apply for a K-1 visa. When you come over on a work visa, you are only there and approved to work. You are not approved to get married. So you can't go outside the bounds of your visa. It just depends on how far along she was. Was she a citizen at that point? Citizenship can take a long time. Yeah, we've been doing a little immigration law CLEs this year, D&I. So I'm enjoying it. I'd love to do the family immigration law. My best friend growing up, her brother married a woman from France, and they moved over to France for a while. Then they ended up going to Ireland, and they were gone for like a decade. They're back in the US now, but
I'd love to go to Ireland.
yeah, they had a lot of fun over there. Very different life. Jenny and Sumit, this is a 90-day classic couple, and I sent Dee a video about it. I don't think that she had a chance to watch all of it, but they gave us a pretty good summary of everything that had happened.
Yeah, it was pretty much everything that you had sent me was covered in this segment.
Minus the catfishing.
Minus the catfishing, yes.
Now, they're in a financial crisis. Sumit lost his job. They were staying in this really nice apartment. Jenny was really happy, and she's really not happy about this new situation. Because they're in financial crisis, they're going to be moving in with Sumit's parents. Ardna is Sumit's mom. We see Sumit doing this like herbal essence haircut. He's taking his hair down, shaking it around. His mom's like, cut it off. And Jenny's like, no, leave his hair alone. He's got these two women fighting over his hair.
I was giggling that his mom was standing there on the other, because you don't see her right away. It's like just him and Jenny, and they're talking about his hair and his beard and all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden it pans over to mom standing there, cut it off. And I'm just like giggling because like
he looks so happy though, sitting there with his wife and his mom. They've been through a rough 15 years, and she's finally accepted it. She said, what's done is done.
Can't undo it. I'm at this point at 15 years. Why bother? I get it though.
Surprised it took that long. But she said she's a good daughter-in-law.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes once she moves in.
Now, one thing I thought was interesting, as far as the financial crisis, as a debtor's attorney, that's one of the things that we do. You're a debtor's paralegal. I'm a debtor's attorney. We see this a lot. We see people that lose their jobs and find themselves in financial crisis. That's one of the top 3 reasons people come to us: divorce, job loss, and serious illness. But our culture is very different, and the way that you cope with that is very different. It seems that in India, living with family, that's the norm. So it makes sense to move back in with your parents. Culturally, even if you were still working, it makes sense to move back in with your parents. But also, you don't see Sumit saying, let's take on debt to support our lifestyle until I find something else. So I wonder what it's like in India as far as the borrowing culture.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about it, but that would be interesting to know how they do stuff, or why she doesn't go to work. I know when I was watching the show that you sent me, she couldn't work until they got married, and they're clearly married now. So I'm curious why she's not working. Of course, she is 67 now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I can't remember if she gets a little like social security stipend or if she gave that up going to India. Sumit has always wanted to live with his family and killed two birds with one stone. Let's save some money living with mom and dad, give Sumit what he always wanted. And that will be interesting enough to get the 90-day camera crew back over here in India so we can make a little bit of money filming.
Maybe they can buy a house when they're done.
I don't think they're making that much money.
I don't know how much money they make on these episodes.
When we go off camera, I'll tell you about Liz's experience. But anyway, when you live with a family, which is very common in India, everybody has their place, everybody has their role. And Jenny is worried about fitting in. They just started accepting her. She's tried before. Like the parents came over to her house and they were disgusted. She's going to have to
could cook.
Didn't think she could cook. Nothing was put away. So she's going to have to live under Sumit's parents' rules, which might even be older than them.
I think she is. His mom definitely looks younger than her.
Oh, they've got great skin. I want to know what Sumit's putting on his skin,
Oh my
too.
gosh.
They're gorgeous skin. But Jenny's worried because she's been free. She's not going to be free anymore. Like, you think there's going to be a curfew? I'm trying
I think she just means, she's had the freedom to do what she wants and what she doesn't want to do. And now she's going to be told what to do every single day.
I can't walk around the house naked anymore.
No, she's going to have
Darn
to put some
shame.
clothes on.
I have to put on a robe or something.
Wonder if they'll have to be quiet. Like if you can hear them in other rooms. Like,
Oh, gosh. Here I'm doing what, D? Doing the D.
yeah, doing the deed. The duty, as one of my girlfriends used to call it.
They're gonna have to get rid of all that fun, crazy, kinky stuff because
Yeah, they're going to have to lock up the whips and chains.
Sarna don't need to know about that.
Just
Do I know why Sumit's hair is long?
Yeah. Good
She's
point.
got a little pool mama doesn't have.
Mm.
Madeline from Medellin, Colombia. She is 20 years old. She loves hair and makeup, and she just started doing beauty pageants a year ago. She's only been in 2 pageants, but she won the second one. She is gorgeous.
Yeah, she's cute.
Gosh, to be 20 again.
I know.
I was cute when I was 20.
Yeah, I was too. I miss those days.
Now she is engaged to Luke, who is 31 years old. He lives in the hills north of Los Angeles, California. And he met Madeline 2 years ago when he was on a boys trip. They went to Medellin, Colombia, which is the second biggest city behind Bogota, because they heard that the hottest girls are there. So she would have been 18 and he would have been 29.
Yeah.
When they met. After the first week, he told her he loved her. After 3 months, even though he's not a tattoo guy, he got her name tattooed on his hip. Does this feel like love bombing?
Yeah, just a little. Just
Like-
a little.
It's an older guy going for a younger girl who doesn't have the life experience to know that this isn't good.
Mm. I don't know. I thought she was a little bratty with him.
Well, I didn't think so. She's just young.
Well, that's true, but I mean, he's trying to explain the whole budget thing and the finances with him quitting his job and coming down there, and she just wants. I want a helicopter for my wedding.
Sweet D, she is only 20 years old.
I don't care. That doesn't
She-
mean you're stupid when you're 20. I mean, granted, we don't always make the best decisions about some things, but I mean, should have
Brain
at least a
isn't
little
even
bit of
fully
knowledge about
developed.
finances.
Still living with her parents. She may have never paid a bill in her life.
I don't know. I just thought she was kind
She's
of bratty
very
with him.
young. And when you're young, younger people tend to focus on
Material
having, like,
things.
an elaborate wedding,
Mm-hmm.
driving on a helicopter. She's really concerned because they are supposed to have the dance down by now because they're getting married in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
She gave him an ultimatum. He thinks it's best to stay and save. He sunk a bunch of debt into a business. He didn't sink his savings into it. He borrowed money to do some jewelry and sunglasses business. That didn't work out. So now he's in debt and he's been telling her he's coming, but he's broke. And he's like, it's best for me to stay here and save. But she's young. She wants to be in love. She wants to have fun. She's putting her whole life on hold for this older guy and he's not even around. I'm just going to give her a lot of credit because she is so young. She's 20. In the US, she couldn't even be drinking
That's true.
or smoking cigarettes.
That's true, but
And he's moving fast. He proposed 9 months after he met her, ready to sell his house. And she even seems to think that this is a little bit fast because after he said, I love you in a week, she says, what are you, a crazy man? So she's, I mean, yeah, she was 18, but even she's still flagging it here. Like, that might be a yellow flag or a red flag. She doesn't mind calling him on his BS, but they haven't really been together a lot for her to, they're still in a honeymoon period. If they haven't seen each other, they're still in a honeymoon period.
they're going to be very interesting to watch because there's going to be a lot of discovery about each other. And it may be good and it may be bad. It's going to be fun.
Did you see his fur rug? Like, I was trying to figure out what was going on with his place that he was living. It looked like it had 2x4s or something for walls. And then there was this big white textured wall behind his computer desk.
I thought that it might be maybe an area that was set up to take photos or display things. Like my
Yeah.
eBay store, when I used to have it, I had a room designated to it that had a certain background, a certain rug underneath the stuff. So it made me think of something like that.
But like a furry rug? Do you think he's doing a Burt Reynolds like bearskin?
I don't know. Maybe he's starting to do some OnlyFans shit to make money for her helicopter.
Sell it, boy, sell it. I don't know if he could sell it.
I'm just saying it looked very reminiscent of when I used to sell products on eBay.
What if his OnlyFans tanked like his jewelry business?
My gosh. He should just hang it up then and start looking for a cougar or something. Instead of him being a sugar daddy, maybe he
What are you
needs a cougar.
suggesting, Dee?
Maybe-
I know you're missing Rob from the other way. I mean, Hunt for Love.
I don't even have those kind of aspirations. I'm just going to admire him from afar.
The American dream is killing Manon, but I don't know that it's her belief that the American dream is killing her. I get the feeling that Anthony is feeling resentment over how hard it is to be a caretaker of a child. It's not easy to be a stay-at-home parent.
Period. No. And
Period.
I had to do that. I stayed home with 2 under the age of 2.5 while my husband actually worked away 4 days a week. So I get it. It's a lot.
I am glad that I don't have to do that. My husband has been the primary caregiver, so very much like Anthony, but he's not resentful. He's a great stay-at-home dad. He does all of the like cleaning and everything way better than I do. He is an awesome dad, and I don't feel any sort of resentment toward him in that my son gets to spend time with his dad, my husband. It's great that the guys have this bond together. He looks up to Rob. He told me he wants to do what his dad does when he grows up.
Did you ask him what that was?
I'm guessing stay at home.
Be a dad too.
But their little Benjamin is so cute. I just wonder if they moved so fast that she didn't know who she was marrying. They were living together after a month, engaged after 6 months, married after 7 months, bought the house, got pregnant after a year. That's a lot. And when you've hit those milestones, like when you're engaged after 7 months and you don't know this person or married, it's harder to turn back once you're married. Like everything they did was on a fast track. Now they are closer in age. Anthony wants Manon to give up her entrepreneurship, give up her business.
I don't think that's a good idea.
She is saying he's a stay-at-home dad, but I don't know how supportive or happy he is in that role. He's the reason they want to move. And they're moving in with her parents. Like, where are his parents?
Good question.
Why couldn't they sell their house and go somewhere where the cost of living is less?
Yeah. And if his family is maybe in another state, move there.
Maybe. Also, giving up a job in securities. So what, he's like day trading stocks, and that's less money than daycare costs? The math ain't mathin'.
No, the numbers aren't adding up.
Yes, daycare is expensive, especially for people who are working like physical labor jobs, but stockbrokers don't, that's not money that you like sneer at. Yeah, something's not adding up. So we finally get a name for Chloe's friend who's driving to tell her that she's living in Delulu Land. Jennifer. I've been to Delulu Land. It's kind of fun. For
We
a
all
while.
have been to Delulu Land.
It's fun while you're there, and then until you go back, and then you're like, oh, so what happened? She's saying Aruba is where you go to have fun on vacay. It's not where you go to meet someone. She knows thousands of girls that go there every year, and they just want to go get drunk and hit on the locals. I've been on girls' trips. Like, if you hit on the locals, okay, fine. But like, that's not ever my goal. Get drunk, yeah.
Yeah, my girls' trips have never been to hook up with people. It's pretty much the girls getting away, do some drinking, have some fun, but not really necessarily, oh, I got to find a guy, I got to hook up.
And Jen has driven 4.5 hours
That's a
to
lot.
set Chloe straight. Her husband grew up on the same street as Johnny. The difference is, even though he's just like Johnny, he worked in the tourist industry, the difference is he lives in America now. Even though she says a leopard doesn't change their spots. So make this make sense to me. Now that he's not in Aruba, if he was somebody who would cheat, he won't cheat on you now that he's in the US.
I did think that part was a little hypocritical once I realized that her husband had worked on the same boats and stuff with Johnny, and
Living in Delulu Land, you can take all the women in the world away. Well, I mean, not all of them, but you can take a bunch of women away. If the guy's going to cheat, the guy's going to cheat.
right.
Bringing him to America doesn't make him not a cheater. It just makes it harder for him to find.
It took a little of the temptation away.
Well, it doesn't take the temptation away. It just makes it harder to access.
Yeah, well, she was
But
trying
if
to.
you want something, you're going to find it.
Right,
If you
but
want
what-
drugs and they're illegal, you're going to find them.
Right. But what she was saying is basically that women are just constantly throwing themselves at these guys on these boats.
And that's fine, but you can't blame women for your dude who is committed to you cheating. That's on him. He's the one with the commitment. If he can't say no in Aruba, what makes you think he's going to say no in America?
Good point. Although he
And-
may not have access to that many women in Massachusetts that are throwing themselves at
said,
him.
Drugs are illegal. People don't have ready access to them, but they find them if they want them.
In Aruba, the girls could be wearing some pretty big alcohol goggles. They got them beer glasses on and stuff. These guys look a heck of a lot better on those boats than they would in Massachusetts.
Look, Massachusetts, they got to stay warm. I'm sure they are up there drinking to stay warm.
I still don't think they're wearing as many beer goggles in Massachusetts as they are in Aruba.
He's going to cheat. He's going to cheat. And speaking of cheating, I don't know that what Johnny did was necessarily cheating. What I picked up from this conversation, Jennifer says, look, you guys were together a few months, and then he took this girl on a trip to Florida. It was supposed to be a boys' trip, but he took her to Florida. She said she thought they were going to be exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Chloe thought they were headed in that direction. So
Didn't
this
sound
seems
like,
like a situationship.
yeah, it didn't sound like they were exclusive yet when he went to Florida.
She just thought they were headed that way, which is we talked about this other day. That's the problem with situationships. Look, you're either exclusive or you aren't. Until you're exclusive, you're not. So
Yeah.
don't assume that you have some exclusive relationship unless you guys have had that conversation.
Yeah, you always need to have that conversation. It's not going to be clear otherwise.
Otherwise, you're going to have this situation where he's like, it's been a few months. You live in a whole different country. I didn't know we were exclusive. They have an open relationship with this person. He really liked Chloe though, and he didn't want to lose her. And as far as we know, ever since they have been exclusive, there hasn't been any cheating. I wouldn't consider it cheating if they weren't exclusive. That's what dating is. You date people.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to watch this couple as well.
Chloe, she knows that what she's doing is risky. She says 99% Jen is probably right. She's saying it's either her insanity or that she's delusional, but she thinks it's going to work out. So she hears what Jenna is saying. She's just, it's not how she's feeling about it. This is going to be good for her. Even if it's not to marry the love of her life, having to do something on her own is going to be good for her.
No regrets. Let's try it and see kind of thing.
I got engaged. I moved to Charleston. That engagement didn't work out, but I'm not leaving Charleston. It's been 11 years. I love it here. You might find where your life is supposed to be, even if she's not going to find who her life's supposed to be with.
Right.
I think Sumit's mother is my mother-in-law.
Sounds like they might be related.
Yeah, because there's certain expectations of a daughter-in-law. She has to be at certain places, wear certain things at certain places, and be a certain way. I've experienced that.
It reminds me of the family photo 2024.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, where I bought like 3 different dresses that she said I should buy. And then she's like, I don't like any of them. And finally got to the point I was like, I'm not going to be in the family photo. And I picked out a dress. It fits your color scheme. I am not sending you a picture. She texts Rob. Rob's like, she's not sending you a picture. And I showed up and it was fine. And it looked good. Like, I know what looks good on my body. Just let me pick something out. You told me the color scheme. Just let me. Anyway, and I'm not the Southern debutante like her daughter is. I'm a little sassy. Anyway, she loves us. I feel for Jenny. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, this is going to be a complete shock for her.
Now, Cherie, this is Ahmed's sister-in-law. I mean, Sumit's sister-in-law, Ahmed, Sumit's brother's wife. They have lived with Sumit's parents since they were married. So 4.5 years. And the mother-in-law one day goes, you haven't done anything for us. I love her response. Cherie goes, all right, fine. I won't do anything. And then you can see. And they aren't getting along. Now Jenny is the favorite.
Yeah. Let me show you what doing nothing looks like. Perfect.
You want to see what Jenny is moving in. So I guess she can get an idea. Ahmed is worried that his wife's going to have to do double the work because she's going to be taking care of 2 mother-in-laws, kind of. But after talking to his brother, Sumit is crying. He's worried that maybe this is a mistake and he hopes it doesn't ruin the family forever. She's finally seeing Jenny as the favorite. And when Jenny rolls on in, wakes up whenever she wants to wake up, they do everything as a family. So it sounds like they have meals as a family together. They're on the same schedule. Different people have different roles. So I guess like one person does the laundry. Now, I didn't hear any roles getting tossed out for the guys.
No, I'm sure that they don't have any roles.
Got an idea. Sumit, you do the stuff that Jenny should have done. Problem solved.
Well, he definitely can cook better than her, so maybe he should be cooking.
Yeah, I don't think they're letting her near the stove. She's going to be sweeping the floor. Hand washing.
In that preview, it didn't look very promising either.
Manon and Anthony, Dee, you are going to have to go through this because I've tried several times to explain what's happening. And every time financial attorney Lauren jumps up and is like, I object. So we'll save my objections to the end. Tell us about why they're not just downsizing.
Completely different pages as far as I'm concerned. They've sold their house. They had about $70-some thousand in equity, but the car is upside down. They owed $27,000 and they're only going to get $15,000. And she's freaking out over all of this. He thinks they have enough money to move to France and get started over there. And she's like, no, I have this standard of living. I'm not going to rent. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And his whole point with moving to France was because she's not spending enough time with the family. She's working so much to have these things, her Louis Vuitton bag and her fancy cars and her fancy house and all of this stuff, and not spending enough time with the family. And she's resentful of that. So he's saying, if we have food on the table, a roof over our head, and you're spending time with your family, you should be happy. And that's not the way that she looks at it. not the finances.
Because she grew up where she watched her parents struggle, and she feels like the more stuff she has surrounding her, she feels more comfortable when she has more. When it's just food on the table, she feels insecure. She needs to go deal with these insecurities because it's really creating a conflict here. She wants to spend time with her family. So obviously that's important to her as well. But she is traumatized from growing up and struggling. So she feels the need to have expensive things, even though she's making some really bad financial decisions. Anthony is saying wanting more has made you overworked and overstressed because what they're taking on is debt. They aren't just building wealth. They're actually doing something that kind of deters building wealth, which is taking on a lot of debt and paying interest. Paying interest is the antithesis of wealth. Unless your interest rates are lower than what you're investing in, which probably not. And I'll get into that in a minute. Manon, she's uncompromisable. She doesn't want to listen to what Anthony is saying, even though she's saying that it's his way, it's only his way. His way is what makes sense. I don't know, she really needs something to help her process that fear she has from being a child and having to worry about maybe where the next meal is coming from. Those insecurities are just putting her in this miserable cycle. She's even, it's hurting their marriage. She's saying, find someone like you then. Why do I have to compromise what I want? Sorry that I'm driven. Being driven and having a lot of stuff that you're financing, totally separate things.
Well, yeah, if you're financing a bunch of stuff, then you're working more and more to pay for the debt.
The debt. I mean, I'm very driven. You're very driven. We both, having dealt with people in their debt for a very long time, are firm believers in driving older cars after they depreciate. And God, this is so Dave Ramsey of me, and I hate to even say that, but cars depreciate the most in the first 3 years. And what's the problem with that? Well, we see it right here. She has a $27,000 payoff on a car that she bought brand new. They were the only owner. And what happened now? It's upside down. They can get $15,000 for it, even though they owe almost double that. And why is that? Well, cars, houses, you have amortization. When you first start paying on that loan, most of your payments go toward interest. It's not until you get toward the end of the loan that what you borrowed starts going down more and more. Most of that payment is going toward interest. At the same time with a vehicle, cars go down in value. They buy a car brand new, it depreciates the most over the first 3 years. So that's why you have $27,000 owed on a car that is only $15,000. At the end of the day, had they paid this car off in full, kept it another however many years, that car's going to be even less than $15,000. That car is going to be like $4,000, $3,000. How much is a 15-year-old car? So they are paying more than 27 because they've had this car for a little bit, plus interest to end up with an asset that's worth $1,500 at the end of the day, or scrap metal if you're taking it off to the junkyard. If they, don't just sit there and finance another car as soon as this one's paid off because they have to have the newest car. And that's why you and I buy the older cars. When you wrecked your Honda, we got you a Lexus, an older Lexus. It only had 100,000 miles, but we got it for like $8,000. And it's gorgeous, fully loaded, leather seats, heated seats, like the works. And it looks great.
Yeah. Same with your Denali.
Same with my Denali. I mean, that was like a $90,000 car brand new. I bought it when it was like more than 10 years old, had low mileage, $6,000. Now that was a few years ago. I don't know that you could buy something like that now. But you definitely could spend less than $27,000 for a car. Yours was newer when we got yours. That was more recent. Yeah, just older cars that are reliable, low mileage. Like you haven't had any issues with your car.
No, I love my car.
Works perfect. Everybody loves your car. Your daughter wanted to take it.
She not getting it.
Dee's already telling me to get off my soapbox, but it's like this house. So houses, cars, they have that mortgage amortization. Most of the payments on the front end go to interest. So like your payment, big chunk of it goes to interest when you first make it, and then a little bit goes to principal. So I wonder how much they put down on this house when they bought it. There are a lot of different factors that could affect the $88,000 that they're getting out of it, the equity. It could just be the market even, because houses can appreciate. But as far as the loan that they took out, if they were only there for a year and a half, they've paid very, very little back of what they borrowed. Most of that money was just going toward the cost of the loan, the interest. So if you're going to rent, what's the difference than handing a $3,000 check to the bank, which is interest, and handing a $3,000 check to a landlord, which is rent?
Not much.
The only thing I can think is if you're renting, your landlord has to fix any problems that go wrong in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Your landlord has to pay the property taxes, and insurance. It's she's sitting there with a Louis Vuitton bag, and she's got a car that's upside down, wanting these big things, and she's financing them. The money that she's paying on them, most of that's going to the bank for the cost of the loan. It's not like she's lived in this house 15 years and just started paying down big parts of the principal. She's making bad financial decisions. She probably doesn't know what to do if her parents were struggling. Maybe she wasn't taught how debt works. Maybe we've just been doing debtors work too long, but anyway, I am all in my feels about this. Manon needs help. She needs to simplify. She's not happy. Her husband sees this, but she doesn't want to listen to him because she does have some trauma built up from having to struggle as a kid. And she sees material items as making her feel more comfortable when in reality, she's financing these items and it's preventing her from building wealth. Does that make sense? It probably does to you, Dee, because you worked with me forever. If that makes sense to the channel surfers. If you are taking your paycheck and giving it to a bank to pay them interest instead of like financing a house over 15 years and paying less interest, but it's a smaller house, having the debt is a barrier to wealth. Right? I'm going to wrap it up. I see your face. Oh, Lord, Luke's in debt too. His dad is worried about him because he started up this sunglasses and jewelry business. And let's not even spend money marketing that. Let's turn to a new focus of building a luxury hotel 2 hours outside of Medellin.
Is that even going to be a tourist spot? That's what I was thinking when.
What?
I mean, it's 2 hours out.
And he's going, I have an MBA. I'm not stupid. Okay, sweetie, you're not stupid, but you aren't making good decisions right now. Look, before these people move to start their new life in a different country, they need to go talk to a local bankruptcy attorney. Maybe bankruptcy is an option. Maybe there's another option. Maybe their creditors can't get them where they're going. Like, go talk to somebody and find out what your rights are. I
just don't.
He's sitting there buying a second pair of shoes because Madeline doesn't like brown shoes. She needs something with color or she's not going to marry him. And his dad, Jim, says if shoes are a problem, that big of a problem, that's a red flag.
Told you, brat. She's a brat.
She's 20. She can
don't
be
care.
a brat. She is young. This is why this 31-year-old man should not be dating somebody that age.
Someone making that kind of a statement saying that I'm not going to marry you if you're wearing brown shoes is absolutely ridiculous. It's a brat statement.
See, she is 20.
I understand that. I was married and had a kid by the time I was 21.
Okay, so your thoughts on marriage? Like, well, you didn't care about it. Oh.
My thoughts is 20 is plenty old enough to not act like a freaking baby brat. That's what I'm saying.
She doesn't really know this guy, though.
No, they're just ridiculous demands. It just sounds, it's something that bratty person says.
Or somebody that has an idea of who they're marrying and they're in love with the idea instead of the reality because they haven't seen the reality.
He could have been giving her everything that she wants and she just continues to act that way. With the whole pageant stuff, when they were talking to her, she was like wearing the crown and I'm the queen. Now I'm him queen. She said his queen.
I don't think she knows him. He needs to go talk to a bankruptcy attorney. I'm just starting to wonder, like, is all of the debt coming from the U.S. or is he already racking up debt in Colombia?
I don't know. The one thing I do know is so far, all of the couples that we've seen in this episode, it's going to be very interesting to watch how it plays out for all of them.
They're going to ruin my day, making me think about all this financial worries.
And you thought this was going to be fun this morning when we started this.
Man, they've got me on a soapbox right now.
You're going to be posting financial shorts all night long.
Dad Jim saying that those alligator skin shoes were not pimpy.
I thought that was the red ones. Like it looked like a red or purple pair of Vans.
No, it was
almost.
like a gray pair. And he's like, does this look pimpy? And he said, no, which it's an alligator skin. I don't know.
I
thought
know.
It looks like a pimp.
Yeah. I was waiting on a fur hat.
And a cane.
Purple suit and a convertible Cadillac.
Well, he can't take that Cadillac with him to Colombia.
I thought we were talking.
Sumit done killed Jenny. He's telling her as they're packing up the apartment, yeah, we're going to live with my parents forever. And Jenny said, my life's over now. So that's it.
I'm
Rip.
done. Sorry. It's
End
so
of
fun
story.
to watch.
Nothing else to talk about. She's dead. No. I love his mom, Sana. She is so funny. She's given all the mother-in-law vibes. She's going through her stuff, giving her shirts away to Sheree, to the sister-in-law. She finds a bottle of rum and Jenny says, oh, that's for migraines. And
Said something about going to a doctor.
oh, you should go to the doctor. Yeah, go get some opiates instead. No, I'm just kidding. And then she
Which I
finds a
went-
mini bottle and she acted like she was about to bust it on the ground.
I was like, hands off the Captain Morgan, dude. Like, don't touch my Morgan. You're going to be in big trouble. And Jenny was
She
the same way.
busting
Yeah.
her chops a little bit though.
I do
'Cause, like when she
too.
picked up that mini bottle, it reminded me of my grandma, how she would just like
Yeah.
just to pick.
Mhm. Jenny's going to need that. I have a feeling. Don't touch the Morgan. Just leave it alone.
Everybody's like, leave it alone, leave it alone. And this
Yeah.
isn't a cultural thing. This is just a Sumit's mom thing. Sumit's saying they're telling Jenny, oh, you should make dinner. Make my mom like you. And Jenny's like, they're not going to like my American food. But when they got there, they brought her in. She was a new bride. They did the rituals, the cultural rituals. So that was very special. And Sumit is just smiling ear to ear. He's like, this is our house now.
He's so happy. Now Jenny is the favorite daughter-in-law. This is our house now. We're living with my mommy and daddy.
My mom's about to bust up some bottles. As long as she don't bust it over Jenny's head. But I think this is a homicide.
Waiting to happen.
He's
or-
trying to kill Jenny. Samina's trying to kill Jenny. She keeps telling him, like, this is going to kill me. He's not listening. Don't worry, Jenny. It won't be forever. He don't got forever in this house. Charcuterie. Charcuterie.
I can't even say it the way that we say it, let alone try to
Charcuterie.
say it in French, huh?
Charcuterie. All right. So Anthony and Manon are making one of my favorite things, charcuterie board, or however they say it. Anthony is having his family over to say, hey, guess what? We're selling our house. It's going to be gone in 2 weeks and we're moving to France. He likes to tell them stuff at the last minute. Whereas Manon, she overshares with her family. So they have very different styles of communicating, which they said from the beginning. It's like the yin and the yang. She's very
They should be-
outgoing.
They should be balancing each other out, but I don't think that they're doing that
No.
very well.
I don't think so. I don't know if it's
Mm.
yin and yang because it's perfect balance. I'm not seeing that. When they tell his family, his dad, Nick, says, shut the front door. And his sister, Sarah, oh my God, that would be me. I would be Sarah.
I would be Sarah. I love her already.
I do too.
We probably won't see her again, but I love her.
I don't think she ever wants to see them again. She is pointing out to them that moving overseas, selling your house, that doesn't magically fix your problems.
No, she said it's like you're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
Are you still going to be working and overworking? Like, how does this all of a sudden turn her into this person who wants to be with her family and isn't materialistic? It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't.
And she was just telling her that like 2 weeks before this.
So, right. And Manoah says, well, then what's your solution? Sarah comes back. I don't need a solution. True. Like, she's not trying to solve it for you. She's just telling you what you've come up with seems like a pretty fast decision for someone who said 2 weeks ago that they wanted to die when they're with my brother and they wanted a divorce. Which, you know, Anthony's parents, I think they're a lot like my parents. They'd be like, Lauren,
They're
just
definitely like mine.
hold it back. Although my mom, if you keep pushing, she'll jump right in there with me. But my dad would be like,
My dad has to stop me when I get started. He'll be like, enough, and put the hand out. And I'm like, okay, I got to shut up because my dad's going to get mad.
And when his mom said to Sarah, I think she said this to you in confidence. Okay, well, your son is about to take his whole life and move to an entirely different country. While you've said this in confidence, like, there is no confidentiality between sister-in-law and sister. Like, you gotta tell your brother what's happening. Although I have to say, my former sister-in-law told Rob and I on her wedding day to my brother the night before. We were out of town for this wedding, states away. She told us that she was just marrying my brother to have a kid. And like, they would never divorce. This isn't the first time you've been married. If it's not 100% right, don't do this. But we told my parents and they were just like, let him figure it out. He figured it out. So she said she was trying to bond with the sister by complaining about the brother. I've never bonded with my sister-in-law that way.
Trash talking your spouse. No.
Yeah, no. No.
Sarah made some very, very valid points.
Extremely valid. I would have done the same thing. And then Noah says, get out of my house. And Sarah's like, all right, peace. Bye.
Peace out.
I'm gone. Yeah, I agree with Sarah.
I do too. And Anthony, he was getting upset with her. He was like, are you trying to drive a wedge between us? And that's when all of this came out.
The wedge is already there.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with your sister expressing her concern about you making an overseas move decision in 2 weeks. Maybe if your relationship was more secure, you wouldn't have acted that way and responded that way. But red flags, red freaking banners all over this.
Yeah.
What a shit show.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun shit show to watch.
It is. We got through half the couples this week, so I'm glad they split them up. I guess we'll be meeting new couples next week. But,
probably be the other 3 next week.
Yeah. So that's it for our first 90-day the other way coverage. D, final thought.
I've said it a couple times while we're doing this. This is going to be fun to watch because I see a lot of shit shows coming.
Are you having as much fun as you did with Hunt for Love?
Well, it's a different kind of fun. I'm going to be a little more criticizing with this and making fun of stuff, honestly, because there's some great material here just waiting to be made fun of.
There is. It's like they're asking for it. We're just giving our honest opinions.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more drama. There's more for us to look forward to. Like,
there might actually be people I don't like this time. Like, I actually liked people in Hunt for Love. I don't know.
It's okay. Look, it's day one. We are basing this on the edit. I'm sure everybody is a lovely person.
I know. Well,
They're all struggling with their traumas, and life is trauma for everybody. But who don't you like?
Well, so far, I'm not a big fan of Brat.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a fan of Brat.
Her.
I know you like her. I just don't. I just think she's a lot. She's a lot. And she seems to me like she's very unappreciative of stuff. I feel like she's a brat.
She's just very young.
Okay, here we go with that again. Okay, I'm not going in the young circle again.
I'm not liking Anthony and Manon.
I'm not liking them either. There's something off with that whole relationship. There's some issues both ways. Like,
Right.
for one thing, I
Right.
noticed there with the conversation with his family, he does not like for people to disagree with him. That was evident, and it was very quick. So I'm wondering if because she seems like she has a very strong personality. I'd say there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're going to see this season.
Yes, we saw that temper.
Mm-hmm.
They were moving fast because they didn't want each other to see the red flags before they got married 7 months later. Woo, dodge that bullet. But now they don't know who they married.
Yeah, and I agree with his sister. Moving to France may just make the problem bigger.
Yeah, he
Instead
can't
of
even get a
fixing it.
job there until he learns French.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to them either. I love Jim.
That was Luke's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did
He
too.
was adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Little Jim. I love Jenny and Sumit. And I love
I do
Sumit's
too.
whole family. They're just so funny and cute and
Yeah, they're adorable. Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's gonna be it's gonna be fun. They're so adorbs. It's gonna be fun to watch them settle in together. All right. Well, we will be back on Thursday with Big Brother live eviction. And next Sunday with Big Brother spoilers. And next Tuesday with 90 Day the Other Way. This is fun. Thanks for listening, Channel Surfers. We'll see you next week.
That's right.
Bye.
Tune